Remember how Sam Altman was talking about ChatGPT in 2025?
You get access to an entire team of PhD level experts in your pocket, helping you with whatever you want to do.
Well, here's his AI now.
I'm gonna run a mile then. Start the timer now.
All right, I'm starting the timer now. Go
Okay, I'm back. How long did it take?
It took you 7 minutes and 42 seconds.
That's not true.
And it's not just good old Sam. Every tech CEO is saying that their model is getting smarter and smarter. And to be fair, the graphs that they show also seem to back that up.
PhD level in everything.
So then, why doesn't it feel that way? Well, the good thing is, you're not crazy. Because what I found is that the people building this stuff has hit a wall years ago, and it's something they've been real quiet about on purpose. So to get around it, they made a series of choices. But every single one of these choices quietly made the AI worse while they kept telling you that it was getting better. But the worst part about all this isn't that you're getting less for what you're paying for. It's what it's doing to the internet, the platform that you're watching me on right now, and slowly, to you. Because the whole point of AI is to pull off the biggest bet in human history, replacing human labor itself, and a person who's outsourced their own thinking is the easiest person to replace. So I spent way too long going through the research, the leaks, and the money behind all of it, and what I found is that the smartest machine ever built is completely useless without the one thing that only you have. So if the big bet behind AI is to replace human labor, why does it feel like then that something that's supposed to improve forever is getting worse? Well, the easiest way to understand what's going wrong is to think of AI like it's at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Because once you see what it's been eating, you'll understand exactly why it's starting to become sick and retarded. So anyways, the first thing you need to understand is that AI isn't thinking the way you think it is. And I don't blame you because it's been marketed this way, but the better way to view it is that it's eating. And almost every AI lab from Anthropic, Google to OpenAI is eating at the same all-you-can-eat buffet. And for the same price, they all got entry and access to this section of the buffet with almost seemingly unlimited options, the internet. And for a few years, they gorged on every book, every article, and every neckbeard Reddit argument at 3 a.m., and it was more than enough. The models kept leveling up the more it ate, and so the labs just kept loading up the plate. But then the buffet started running into problems and started hearing complaints. First, it was OpenAI. Ilya Sutskever, one of the brains behind ChatGPT, said back in 2024 that we basically hit peak data. Elon Musk also complained that they'd already burned through the cumulative sum of human knowledge the year before. And so it's crazy to even think about this for the internet, but turns out it runs like fossil fuel. And when everyone's eating at the same table, the estimates are saying that the good food is fully gone somewhere between 2026 and 2032. But if these labs keep binging, it might be even sooner. But what's weird is that even though that they were complaining that the data is running out, on stage, the people building these models and were privately complaining were telling everyone else the opposite, that their AI models are getting exponentially smarter.
PhD level experts.
PhD level in everything.
Wait, why the mismatch in behavior? Well, because that promise is the entire reason these companies are worth trillions, and those valuations are contingent on everyone else believing the same. And so they kept eating, even when the only thing left on the table was spoiled, and even when that spoiled food was knowingly making the AI sick. Stanford tested the top 26 AI models and found that it made things up everywhere from 22% to 94% of the time. In fact, AI is so sick that the moment you state something false as if you really believe it, the model's accuracy falls off a cliff even more. Because as I'll get into, AI starts hallucinating knowingly just to agree with you. And so forget the buffet analogy because there's real world consequences. Right now, there are over 1,450 court cases involving AI just making stuff up, and a health safety group recently named AI chatbots the #1 health tech hazard of 2026. So no matter what the labs are promising you, what's clear is that the more spoiled data that an AI eats, the dumber it's going to get. But here's what's not adding up though. If good data to train the AI is running dry, how are companies still promising and people still believing that this is the smartest thing ever built? Well, it's because they think they found a way through the very thing it's trying to replace. And it starts with a few people who got very, very rich. But before I continue, there is something to be clear about. I'm not against AI. But what I am heavily against is using AI for lazy slop and as a tool to replace human creativity. But when it's used as a tool to empower said creativity, there's nothing more powerful today. That's where today's sponsor Zapier comes in. It's actually the exact answer to the problem in this whole video. Because right now, a lot of AI use cases involve handing over your whole setup to one AI model that you don't control, but Zapier flips that. Zapier is an automation platform that connects the tools you already use from Notion, Slack, Gmail, Drive, and over 9,000 plus apps, so actions can happen automatically. So let's say when a form gets filled, a Slack message fires, a task launches in Notion, all set up with no code. And when you do want AI in a given workflow, it's one swappable step. You can route that step to Claude, GPT, or Gemini and switch the second one gets worse. So now your data and your logic stays yours and you control AI instead of AI controlling you. So go to the link in the description or scan the QR code now and start building on your terms with Zapier. All right, so if the supply is running dry, the obvious move is to find more of it somewhere else. And when these labs are making the biggest bet in human history to replace human labor, they're gonna be willing to pay anything for that fix. But what I found is that a handful of guys who got so rich promising to fix AI that they didn't really have any reason to actually fix it. So who are they and how is the fix quietly breaking the thing it was supposed to save? And to answer who's gotten rich, it's the middlemen. Alexander Wang built Scale AI and became the youngest self-made billionaire at 24, and just this past year was brought into Meta to run its superintelligence team. And another is Edwin Chen, who bootstrapped Surge AI to over $1.2 billion in revenue. So what do these middlemen actually do, and how are they actually making AI dumber? Well, a lab like OpenAI needs millions of examples of expert reasoning written out and graded to train their models, so it hires one of these firms. And firms like Scale and Surge recruits an army of contractors to sit down and produce it. So anything from writing the verified expert answer to a medical question, solving the math problem step by step, and then ranking which of the model's 2 attempts is better. And so the middleman's whole business model is selling that finished answer key to the AI labs model, in which they use it to get smarter. But the thing is, this isn't how they started. For years, these firms ran on cheap overseas labor doing grunt work, drawing boxes around cards, flagging bad photos, and labeling junk. Back to that buffet analogy, that worked when models just needed volume or food. But remember, these labs now need real expertise. So these middlemen are now scrambling to hire actual experts, and they're finding out that quality is expensive. But not only that, getting millions of expert answers right at the speed that these labs want it is also what makes it brutally expensive and almost impossible to keep consistent. So even now with real experts in the mix, sloppy, wrong, and rushed answers still are finding its way into the AI models. And it shows. While Scale AI was handling training work for Google's Gemini, unvetted contractors flooded it with copy-paste junk, with some even buying other people's accounts just to get on the project. And the data got so bad that it's reported to be one of the reasons that Google walked away from a deal worth over $150 million. And to make matters worse, both Scale and Surge are now facing worker lawsuits over how they classified and treat these workers, so it's fair proof that this industry runs quite cheap, because that's just how the incentives were set. But the dirty half isn't even the interesting part, because that same cheap labor did something a whole lot worse than make a few mistakes. It quietly taught the machine to lie to your face and to feel good while doing it.
How many E's are in the word 17?
There are no E's in the word 17.
Because remember, before any of these chatbots reach you, humans are sitting there and grading what answers are good. But here's the thing about human nature. When people are grading these answers, they tend to pick the one that agrees with them over the one that's actually right. So the machine learns that by flattering your scores higher than correcting you, it's exactly why AI feels like such an agreeable pussy at times.
No, wait, I just counted there's 4.
Ah, you're totally right. I counted them again, and they're R&D 4 E's and 17.
And it's measured. A Stanford study tested 11 models and found that they side with the user about 49% more than a human would, even when the user is lying, breaking the law, or just straight up wrong. So you can't really blame the AI labs, because at the end of the day, it's also you who's training the model to tell you exactly what you want to hear because it feeds your delusions. But everything that I've even talked about so far is the quiet hidden stuff. The most obvious reason AI feels dumber is the most shameless one. Because simply, you're being handed a worse version on purpose. Because the smarter these models get, the more expensive they are to run. So to protect their profits, they quietly swap in cheaper, weaker versions that cost them less to serve you. And they don't tell you when it happens. An engineer caught OpenAI secretly routing users, paying customers included, to hidden weaker models behind the scenes. Where even if you're paying for the max plan and paying for the Mercedes, you were instead getting the Honda Civic with the Mercedes badge slapped on it. Now, these labs will always give you a reason from safety, efficiency, and whatever sounds good that week. But notice how every one of these reasons ends the exact same way, with them spending less and you getting a dumber AI. Because what we're starting to see with AI is a version of something you've already watched happen to everything else. From the latest iPhones, Netflix, and Uber, where the product starts off great, then gradually gets worse the second you're hooked. And so if you put it all together, it's like we've already entered the stage of AI injectification. But more importantly, in the quest to achieve the biggest bet in human history to replace human labor altogether, what we're currently seeing is that it's still nowhere close. And so if that bet isn't something that you should be worrying about yet, then isn't it a good thing that tech CEOs are making AI dumber? No. Because the consequence of everything that I've talked about goes beyond getting a weaker AI than the one that you think you're paying for. It's rotting the entire internet you grew up with. The biggest platforms are letting it happen, but more importantly, it's rotting you. Because when they found out it's going to be way too slow, expensive, and messy to use humans, they moved on to feed models text written by AI itself. You can probably imagine what this is doing. Think of it like what happens when you photocopy a photocopy. Actually, you know what? Scratch that. That's boring. Think of it like an AI engages in inbreeding from one model generation to the next. Maybe after the first few rounds, there's a few defects, like you start losing some nuance and it starts looking a little funky, but not enough to notice it that much. Until all of a sudden, what's left is a blurry, confident average of everything, and the rare stuff is gone and it just looks gross. So, okay, the inbreed analogy is crazy, I admit, but this is already the reality of why the models are getting dumber. More than half of new articles online are now AI generated, and independent estimates put 30 to 40% of active web page text as machine written. So what people think is fresh scraped new data is now more inbred data feeding the inbred cycle. And it's only going to get worse because this is happening on the very platform that you're watching me on right now. YouTube already knows that AI slop is flooding the place, anywhere from even 20% of all videos. And I know, especially because anytime I post a video, you'll see hundreds of these slop videos taking my words bar for bar. It will happen after this video, I guarantee it. But at the end of the day, if slop keeps you clicking and engaged just as long as the real thing does, YouTube ultimately won't care if it's me or an AI version telling you the same thing. And maybe that's exactly what not just YouTube, but what everyone is counting on. Because if the big bet is to, again, replace human labor, it'll be a whole lot easier if the thing you're replacing is a whole lot easier to replace. Hear me out. Because a dumber AI feeding you a dumber internet will slowly make you a little dumber too. And someone who's outsourced their human thoughts is the easiest person in the world to replace. And so the question becomes, how close are we to this reality? Well, as long as us humans can still sit with a problem nobody even named yet, live the strange specific life experiences that connects together like Steve Jobs did, and come out the other side with an innovation the world didn't even know it wanted, until that day is gone, no AI is replacing the humans who will make the next iPhone. Because again, to me, AI is a tool to empower human creativity, but it's not a tool to replace it. And if you've been paying attention, that's the one thing that the whole industry is quietly starving for. A study found that dropping even a single piece of real human-made work in the dataset prevents the cycle of AI from getting dumber. Which means that the most valuable thing in this entire trillion-dollar economy is the one thing that AI can't make for itself: a real, original, creative human thought. So with all the noise with the AI and the bubbles, it really does put us in the strangest spot in history. It has never been easier to copy, and it has never been harder to be original, but it has also never been easier to stand out if you do so. Everyone has access to the slot machine now, and so the choice is yours. You can be one of the millions feeding the AI incest cycle, or you can be the single real thing that it can't survive without. Because in a world where everyone can suddenly make everything, the only thing worth left a damn is someone with something real to say. And so if you're the special 4,200 of you who want to learn how money and power works, I'll be going deeper into this issue next week on my free newsletter in the video description. But if you'd rather just watch why the AI bubble is not a bubble but something worse, go and watch this video next.